Here we are, Mitte Berlin, brand new buildings going up. But then, just across the street, you enter this tunnel, this wormhole of history that hasn't changed a whole lot the last few decades. It houses the famous Café Cinema and the movie theater Central, a tiny little place that showed indie movies. There's also a museum, and the walls tell their own story here about the creative mindset of Berlin. I love to find these secret places with the remnants of advertising. Like Fluxus collage that's reinventing itself, that's always looking new, depending from which angle you stare at it in disbelief of what's presented. Here we have an urban version of Charlie Chaplin next to a Miss Kitty type, a homage maybe to bad woman, bad men. Hard to say. It's not really that important. It's more like gorging on a buffet that has all the cuisines of the world. In this case, it's the cuisines of art of the world. From the pop art and kitsch to cartoon to the mystical, all styles are represented. Some are of higher quality than others, but that's not the point. It's really this coexistence of them that make it very intriguing, making it an experience. It's what we humans are after all, after constant entertainment, experiences, new images that dazzle our mind and inspire us to continue exploring our present moment, but also our destiny. What are we made for? What are we cut out for? What can we sustain? What can we prolong? And with whom? That's an essential question. With whom do we want to cooperate and communicate? Right now we are playing a game, a dangerous game, a divisive game of separation and different ideologies. It's not a new game, it's actually a modern world invention. Divide and conquer has been the motto. And that is our challenge, to resist that, to say no, to say we are stronger together, stronger than you, anything, any ideology or religion, and that together we will point this out and create alternative ideas and realities, because it's not just about being against something or being defensive. It's about preoccupation with the positive. That's your main challenge in this life, to always return to hope and use faith to do that, and be proactive in the steps that can be taken, even if it's just as small a symbol as making your mark on a wall. Behind me now, usually there's an open gate following a pathway into another courtyard that leads to the cinema and a lovely beer garden. Here today is this amazing mural because the gates are closed. Usually don't see that the same way, so it's really fabulous. Some more art that says, I was here, I am alive, I have a message, and only over my dead body, if at all.
Art of abstraction ist da immer. Weiß ich nicht. Naja.
Yes, Berlin Art Blog, Chasing the Sun. Yeah, I'm dressed like for Siberia, but it's just for fashion, you know. So, winter is not my favorite time of the year, but Gran Canaria was off limits. So, what do? We enjoy this amazing place. Berlin, you see the TV tower back there, and there's somebody probably from Bulgaria playing accordion. Unavoidable. And we are on one of the many bridges that grace this lovely city. There's my player. No, I did not hire him for this little reportage. As I stroll on a Saturday in the midst of plenty of other people that feel like that if you are locked in, you might as well die. It's silly to live in fear. It's unhealthy. So, we walk around, and this city, of course, has a lot of gems to explore. As I'm heading towards Brandenburg Gate, I already crossed Mitte. I'm passing the National Gallery, and soon I will continue live from Berlin. Yes, just come with me. Why not? I don't think one has to talk all the time. The screen area behind me is usually in the summer very well done. It's right in front of this National Gallery. Today there's a lovely photo shoot. Yes, it looks like a wedding, a pandemic corona wedding. How lovely. Wedding for two. Better than no wedding, that's what they say. Love doesn't care. There's even books written about love in times of pandemic. Sometimes it's the best, the most intense, the most bonding, long lasting. Sometimes it's short lived. But I encourage everybody. How is your love life? Have a look at it. Did you kill it off? Berlin is a city of love, of quick and easy love. There is a hookup around every corner, as it's a very free-spirited, liberal place. Yes, no shaming here. Sex is a vital part of the city, and it's decorated wherever you look on the rooftops with symbols of virility. They say Berlin is the city of angels, but they add a macabre twist to it. Because it's also metropolis, it's also Babylon, it's also the city of lost souls. And that means, of course, it's also the city of fallen angels. Where else would the fallen angels live? Seriously. But in Berlin. And not that I am a fallen angel. I still got my wings. I don't intend to give them up or jeopardize them or set them afire. But I can appreciate the sentiment, the battle between right and wrong, yin and yang, masculine and feminine, and what we call good and evil, which is just an ordinary day in duality. Yes, there are areas in Berlin, like streets, roads, boulevards, that have one major building after another. Berlin has 2 opera houses. I mean, that's the benefit, the strange benefit of having been 2 cities in one. Lots of things have been doubled on, added on and doubled up is a more correct way to say this. And every one of these systems, governments, decided to preserve something different for different reasons. So here is a monument that's quite typical in modern days in cities around the world. A monument to the unknown soldier. Because it doesn't matter if you're for or against war, somebody is fighting it. Somebody is fighting it, and often not on their own accord, but because, like this echo, there is an overlord that orders them to do the bidding, the fighting for them. Because either in ancient times there were the king and you had no rights, or in modern times the various countries, nations have, even though their democracies have their exceptions, have their rules and have laws that you have to serve. your country. You have to train, you have to go. I had to go for 2 years if I wanted to or not. And then if there's a war, they just can't call you up. And then you have to kill in the name of whatever they declare as enemy. And sometimes the enemy is real, sometimes a country has been attacked in the past, sometimes a country is an aggressor. And this was this monument to soldiers before me who might not have wanted to fight and have not gained even any glory, but died. Of course, right now I can say I live in a free country, and in some way that system, that concept worked, but I think we can do better than that. And one thing would be, like behind me, the Humboldt University, which means you give everyone on the planet not just a decent education, an amazing education, so they understand all the abstracts and paradoxes and metaphors and ideologies and see them as what they are. Just beliefs you can hang yourself on, or you can say, okay, that's interesting. You got an interesting belief too. Maybe you can find some commonalities. Because the truth is that a belief is neither knowledge nor the truth. It's just a belief. It doesn't mean also that even the best, greatest thinkers, leaders, philosophers are free of fault. They're always formed and shaped by their desires, their upbringing, and their society, and the pressures to find one's position, one's place in that society. So Alexander Humboldt is one of these figures that was not just an ordinary man that followed, but he had created his own versions and visions of how life should be conducted and how he wanted to play a major role in the development. Like across from it today, like many of these free thinkers that had fought for that right to express yourself. Like you see in the distance there is a huddle of people, a few hundred, that are taking advantage of that freedom for the good or worst. That depends on which side of the aisle you're standing. Of course, right now we are fighting about freedom of speech, and there is a tendency on the liberal side to start to denying the right to have their version of it, no matter how misguided. And just not that long ago it was the other way around, that the right suppressed anything that didn't fit their paradigm of what a decent moral life should be, even if they themselves never were able to live up to it. So there is this big fight going on again about who's right and wrong, and about ideology. And that's an old fight, and it has only brought society down and has not enriched society, but has created discord and isolation and in the worst cases, hatred. And all of this you can read up here, as I'm now in front of this, if I'm not getting killed crossing the street, amazing Berlin State Library, because, here we go, safe again, because Berlin also was and is a city-state.